As teachers of students with the or TSBI and certified
Rehabilitation Center presents
it is
in bright yellow letters against the pitch black background. The title reads STAR Summer Transition Accelerated Rehabilitation. To show a series of pictures showing STAR participants and jobs.
Our work is
Welcome to the 2022 White Cane Day webcast pre-show. You're just in time to see some highlights from last year.
So, Jessica, why don't you tell us what you're looking forward to seeing and which interview you're looking forward to?
Oh, there are so many good ones. It's so hard to choose. You know, I'm actually really intrigued by beat baseball. I've played beat baseball for about 30 seconds when I was in middle school, and I was so bad at it, I vowed to be a spectator from henceforward. So I'm so excited to get to meet the Blackhawks, and we have our mainstay HEB here, an Austin favorite. You know, always saving our bacon, HEB.
A friend of mine said, "You're going to umpire blind baseball." And I said, "You're out of your mind. Blind people can't play ball." And I was shown different by these people. They can play ball. They're very accomplished athletes. I've been doing it for 33 years. Wouldn't do anything else. We always need help on the field, setting up, like helping with the players, getting the things they need so they can play the game. You pull this pin and play ball.
Understanding all the wonderful things that these persons can do.
Blindness awareness for the city.
A huge celebration for what we're going through and all of our accomplishments.
White Cane Day celebration is a time for friends to get together and celebrate each other and reunite, and it's just fun to see old and new friends having a good time and celebrating their independence and way of traveling.
White Cane Day to me means making blindness and blind people known throughout the community, throughout the state, throughout the country.
Blind people celebrating their independence, getting out there, and making themselves known to the general public.
Showing independence and confidence. Once you learn how to use that cane, there's nothing you can't do.
So my favorite part about White Cane Day is using my white cane, and I really like this Kelly Clarkson song called "My Life Would Suck Without You," and my life would suck without my white cane.
I got my start to White Cane Day celebrations in 2014, which was my first year at TSB. It made an impression on me because it's like, okay, here is proof that I can do things. Here's proof that I am not just, an incapable blind person. It really boosted my self-confidence. And, I think my favorite part of the whole thing was just the sense of community, the sense of belonging.
I just reiterate that I love being part of White Cane Day, and I'm so proud of ACC being part of it and what we do in terms of finding accessibility solutions. And I also just, thank the organizers for creating this event, because like I said, it's important to my family with my husband being blind and my son seeing his dad out in the world, and my son is proud too of his dad and what he does. And so I really love that. And I think White Cane Day as an event has really helped so many people in the community embrace that empowerment ideal.
White Cane Day is actually an opportunity for everybody to get together and bring public awareness to white canes and the importance of using a white cane.
White Cane Day, it's really just to show the independence of people who are blind and visually impaired, and that being able to travel is one of the highest levels of independence.
The white cane is so important to people. Without it, I couldn't do my job.
Look at a white cane and you think, this little object that little object is the literal key to independence.
Seeing that somebody is independent, using a cane to get wherever they need to get to, doing their grocery shopping, taking their kids to school, seeing that is important for the community. Having a vision impairment or blindness doesn't mean that that person can't still do pretty much everything that anybody else can do.
White Cane Day is a very unique event. It brings all kinds of diverse elements of our community together. It provides a festival atmosphere filled with a combination of information, energy, and joy. I mean, I'm just always amazed when I'm at an event. This is a signature event for HEB and will continue to be for the long term. And it's one of our biggest community outreach programs. I love the energy level at this event, and I like getting to meet the different people at TSBVI, Chris Cole, and the state of Texas offices.
White Cane Day is a very constructive event. I think that it is an event that encourages people to learn about blindness, to learn about other health challenges and new innovative ways to deal with those challenges.
Also, we want to thank the TSBVI crew for being out here and helping us and putting all this all together. We couldn't have done it without you. And the Austin Lighthouse and all of our sponsors, everybody that took their time to tape interviews with us. We couldn't have had an event like this without you all.
For everyone, a huge thank you. And also, I just want to remind everyone out there watching who may have lost vision or may be struggling with your vision. White Cane Day is about power. White Cane Day is about independence. White Cane Day is about what you can do. The first 3 letters of cane are can. So I want you to get out there and show people what you can do.
Our independence is important and our presence is power.
Amen to that.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
That was so much fun. Check out this year's video from East Texas.
Hello, I'm Dennis Kutash. I'm the Director for Vocational Rehabilitation Services in Region 4, beautiful East Texas, the rose capital of the world, and generally just a great place to live.
Photos of pine trees, roses, and lakes.
Today, we want to share the success story of John Russo, who teaches history at Northeast Texas Community College in Mount Pleasant. We've worked with John several times over the years to provide a variety of services. He now has a very successful career. Watch to learn more as John shares his story about what vocational rehabilitation has done for him.
John sits in a classroom with a white standard poodle.
Well, greetings. My name is John Russo. I am an associate faculty of history at Northeast Texas Community College. So I teach American history and world history. And I am totally blind. And I've been in Texas now since 2006. I'm currently married, and we live fairly close by the college. And to navigate the campus, I use a white cane and my guide dog. The two combined provide me enough information about where I'm walking to help me navigate independently so that I don't need to ask sighted assistants how to get from one building to another. So the cane and the dog give me 100% independence on my job.
John uses a Braille note taker.
But being totally sightless, all my lectures are saved on a note taker device. And so I access student files, student reports, records, the textbook. This device gives me a line of Braille as a readout. I can read and write emails. I can get on the internet. When students send homework to me as an email attachment, I can open it up and read it in Braille. I moved to Texas in 2006. I knew the first thing I needed to do to get reestablished as a sightless individual was to locate some kind of services related to VR. And at that time, it was Division of Blind Services, DARS. But I wanted to re-enroll in college, finish my degrees, because my goal was to teach at a college. And the Department of Rehabilitation assisted me with travel expenses, but really for me, the most important and most valuable asset was the technology and the training. Back at that time in 2007, we even had less available than we do now. Well, I had never turned on a computer by myself. I will always remember the first Crystal Visions person that came to my home. And she said, okay, do you know how to get to the desktop? I said, no. Oh, do you know about JAWS? No. And she chuckled and said, do you know how to turn on a computer? I said, no. And I heard her as she was typing on her braille display and said, oh my, we need to get back to the basics. She had to teach me Windows. She had to teach me JAWS. It was a lot to absorb in the 8-hour day, 5 days a week that VR was willing to pay for. But here I had on my desk a computer with speech synthesis, a braille embosser, so I could have braille versions of my syllabi and worksheets and so forth, and somebody to call if I needed assistance. Well, technology continued to improve and expand. So over the years, VR has purchased updated computers, laptops, and then when I found out about braille displays and how much they're able to adapt to various software platforms, get on the internet, doing all this with a braille display, I asked for permission, and I'll always recall when Stacy came to my home and delivered the first humanware braille display, and I was amazed. It's only one line of braille, but that's still a lot. It's not a visual screen. The amount of work we can do, get on the internet, get on email, type and proofread papers, all kinds of things, because braille is our literacy. So VR has made working possible for me. I would say, very honestly and sincerely, without their assistance, I would not have a job. I would not have the equipment I need to accomplish my tasks.
Aww, that is such a cute poodle. Now I want one. Grab some popcorn because Lisa's up next.
My name is Lisa Golden, and I'm the Diabetes Program Specialist at Texas Workforce Commission Vocational Rehabilitation. I'm also a Certified Diabetes Care and Education Specialist. Now, you probably already know that diabetes is the leading cause of new onset blindness in people ages 18 to 64. Diabetes, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol all contribute to diabetic eye disease, including diabetic retinopathy, macular edema, glaucoma, and cataracts. The good news is that well-managed diabetes, including well-managed blood sugars, cholesterol, and high blood pressure, can prevent or delay the complications of diabetes. When you attend diabetes education classes, work with your diabetes educators to find ways to make self-care tasks fit into your professional and your personal lives. There are many, many ways to manage diabetes, and your diabetes can help you find the solutions that will work for you and the life you live. Your diabetes educator can help you find the foods that you find delicious and affordable that are also diabetes friendly. We use our white canes and our guide dogs to explore this world, and being active, exercising, is a wonderful way to manage your blood sugars and your stress levels. Monitoring your blood sugar and other health metrics can help you know when you are and are not in range. Taking your medications as prescribed by your doctor can help you manage your blood sugar and your other labs and keep them in the target range. There are a lot of self-care tasks that must be done with diabetes, and that can be a bit frustrating. So we must employ our healthy coping skills in order to manage all the pressure that both diabetes and just life brings. I encourage everyone to see their eye professional annually. Your eye doctor can see a lot of things, not just that you're having vision problems. They can identify things such as cancer, thyroid disease, and yes, chronic diseases like diabetes. Now, if you have diabetes, you're going to need to have a 1-hour comprehensive eye exam. Now, I know an hour of your time is a lot, but it really can help to save your precious vision. So here's to all of our White Cane Day users and supporters. May you be happy and healthy and independent and successful.
For more information, contact Texas Workforce Commission, 101 East 15th Street, Austin, Texas 78778, www.twc.texas.gov, VR statewide contact number 512-936-6400, VR statewide email vr.office.locator@twc.texas.gov, Start My VR self-service portal located on the right panel, www.twc.texas.gov.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the 20th anniversary of Austin's White Cane Day, live from TSBVI. Please stand for the national anthem sung by Curtis Perry.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light, we're so proudly we hailed at the twilight last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave. Happy White Cane Day, everyone.
Hi, this is Governor Greg Abbott. I'm honored to join you in celebrating White Cane Day to recognize the impressive achievements and contributions of Texans who are blind or visually impaired. The white cane is an important tool that increases mobility, promotes independence, and broadens opportunities for Texans to lead an independent and fulfilling life. Today is a reminder of the importance of self-reliance and self-determination. I encourage all Texans to learn more about blindness and visual impairment so that we may continue to build a more equal and inclusive future for absolutely every Texan. May God bless you in your efforts, and may God forever bless the great state of Texas.
years old. And he and I have been working together for almost 5 years now. So we've gone on quite a few adventures together over the last 5 years, from traveling to all kinds of different places, from him being in my wedding a couple weeks ago. He was in my wedding and wore a bandana that said "I do too," because he was, you know, if he doesn't like my husband, I can't do it. But yeah, so we've gone on all kinds of adventures over the last 5 years.
And congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you.
Awesome.
That's so exciting. That's a wonderful story. I love that, because our guide dogs are such a huge part of our lives. And Nigel here is also a black lab, also 6 years old, and we've also been working together for about just on 5 years now. So it turns out that Crystal and I missed each other at guide dog school by about a month and a half.
Yeah.
We just missed each other. Same campus, same looking kind of dog. I hope we get the right dog after the show. Right?
That would be interesting. Yeah.
I know. But Nigel is my adventuring partner. We go everywhere together, and he's thoroughly a part of my family, and he loves to hike with me and just go all over everywhere with me and travel, and he's the best traveler. He's a better traveler than I am. As far as being on planes, he goes right to sleep.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
So it's such a privilege.
All right, well, now we're going to toss it over to Ed Cerna, one of our dignitaries.
And I didn't even get to the marches part, which I was going to next.
Are we clear?
All right, guys, I think this is where I head back down. It was fun.
All right, awesome. Thank you.
I'll talk to you.
1964, by an act of Congress, U.S. Congress, White Cane Day was established. And it was established not to point out a weakness, it was established to point out an enabling capability. Through this celebration, we honor individuals and we recognize the accomplishments of individuals who have disabilities. This particularly has to be, not has to be, but it's disability that has to do with sight or vision. But really, we need to recognize, as Commissioner Deverson pointed out, as our former executive director pointed out, individuals with disabilities are just individuals that have figured out how to overcome some challenges, so then they'll overcome other challenges in the workplace. We're going to continue to be supportive of this program. This is the second time I've had the opportunity to walk. Now, I will tell you all, I'll confess on myself, an annual conference last year, I did put on a blindfold and I used a white cane to walk down the part of the lobby there, and I thought I did a great job until I saw the video. So I thought I was going in a nice, perfectly straight line. If I hadn't been guided, I would have ended up falling somewhere. But anyway, that just pointed out to me how incredible it is, the accomplishments that you all make and how you continue to live your lives, all with the assistance of a white cane and with other support behind you, like TWC, like Chris Cole, like all those other, the school here. So I'm going to stop talking. I think Ron Lucy's up next, but I'm going to let our MC announce that. But thank you for letting me join you again today. Congratulations on all the successes that you've accomplished and on your future successes as well. So it's back to you, and I'll lower it.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Cerna. I now have the privilege of introducing our Deputy Director of the Governor's Committee on Disabilities, Mr. Ron Lucy. Executive Director, my apologies, sir.
Welcome. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here today. Tomorrow I'm going to be in Houston at what they describe as the largest White Cane Day celebration in America. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Can I get a sound check from the audience? Can I hear how big Austin's White Cane Day celebration is? Let me hear it. I think it's pretty close, but I think Austin is dominating. As was mentioned, my name is Ron Lucy, and I'm the Executive Director of the Texas Governor's Committee on People with Disabilities. And it's indeed an honor for me to be here today to share a brief history of White Cane Day here in Austin. As Ed Stern said, this is not the 20th anniversary of White Cane Day, it's the 20th anniversary of our community celebration. Another great Texan, President Lyndon Baines Johnson, proclaimed White Cane Day for the first time in October of 1964. And at that time it was called White Cane Safety Day. And the original intent was to be a safety reminder to drivers to recognize the long white cane and to provide safety assurance to pedestrians traveling with a cane. We know that White Cane Day means so much more to us today. It's both a second Independence Day for Texans who are blind and a reminder to the community of the strength and ability of blind Texans. Now, to set the mood today, I'm wearing the first White Cane Day t-shirt that we had in Austin. And I have to say this is one of my favorites. On the front it says boldly, "I drive a stick," right? And I want to turn around in the back. Let's not forget the dog guide. It says 4 on the floor, 4-paw drive. So recognizing both the white cane and the guide dog. So throughout the years, White Cane Day has been recognized in different ways. The National Federation for the Blind calls it Blindness Awareness Day. In 2011, President Obama declared October as Blindness Equality Day. And I'd like to suggest another title. I'd like to suggest that White Cane Day be Hug and Orientation and Mobility Instructor Day. What do y'all think? All right. So one of the reasons I'm honored to be here today is that 20 years ago, I had the honor of serving as the chairman of the Austin Mayor's Committee for People with Disabilities. And I would describe the Mayor's Committee as common ground for community partners to come together and solve the challenging problems of our community. And at that time, it was just 10 years after the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act, and Austin was very proud of all we had accomplished to make Austin a welcoming community for people with disabilities. Austin was the first city to have a fully accessible voting machine where blind Texans could cast an independent ballot. We were the first, we were the first city to have a fully accessible bus system, and we were the first city to have the JAWS screen reader and Zoom text in all of our public libraries. So certainly we should be the first community to have the largest White Cane Day celebration. Now, that first celebration took place not at our current City Hall, but at our old City Hall on 8th Street with Mayor Gus Garcia. And how many of y'all were there? I want to hear a round of applause. Do we have any long-time White Cane Day celebrators here? Very good. My recollection of that small gathering was that the students from the Texas School for the Blind led that event. They made a joyful noise on the steps of the old City Hall as Mayor Gus Garcia came out to greet the White Cane Day celebrants. And of course, Mayor Gus Garcia had a connection to White Cane Day. I don't know how many of y'all know this, but Mayor Gus Garcia had a son who was a student at the Texas School for the Blind. So we had a natural connection to the city with White Cane Day. Looking forward to next year, we moved White Cane Day celebration not to the new City Hall since it had not opened, but we went to Woolridge Park, which was a unique park that had a distinction of every direction being uphill. We described the park as a bowl shape with a beautiful gazebo at the center. But what made that event special is it was planned by blind people for blind people, as all of our White Cane Day celebrations should be. The next year we got even bigger and we moved to Republic Square Park, starting with a march from the state capitol to Austin's new City Hall and finishing out at Republic Square Park. And that's where our White Cane Day has been for many, many years, until when the city of Austin finally decided to remodel Republic Square Park, and we moved to our new home here at the Texas School for the Blind. I'm very proud to have Emily Coleman here as our host today, hosting us for White Cane Day for the past several years. And It's not so much where White Cane Day is in the community, but where it is in our hearts. As long as White Cane Day continues to be a celebration of the independence of Texans who are blind or visually impaired, it can be anywhere. We no longer have just one march that goes from the Capitol to City Hall, but we have several marches. And I think that's really an outstanding idea because it shows inclusion in the community where blind people are everywhere. Now, at one point, White Cane Day stopped making news in Austin, and that's because it's no longer uncommon for blind Austin citizens to be everywhere in the community, working alongside Austinites, traveling, shopping, being part of the inclusion of our community. And that's really what the goal of White Cane Day should be, is full inclusion for people who are blind or visually impaired. You know, in Austin, we cannot have freedom without independence. And looking forward to the future of White Cane Day, I'm proud to say that Texas has the best residential school for the blind in the country and the best rehabilitation center for the blind in the nation. We cannot have independence without freedom, and that's why we need the School for the Blind and the Critical Rehabilitation Center to help Texans who are blind prepare every day for the opportunities of the 21st century. Looking forward to the future of White Cane Day, what will make that special is that each of you will make history every day by setting a course for your future here in Texas. With that, I'd like to close by providing a White Cane Day proclamation from Governor Abbott to Emily Coleman and Juanita Barker from the Texas Workforce Commission. And I also have an extra copy for the Orientation and Mobility Department at Chris Cole. I want to recognize a couple of people, Scott Meyer and Allison Behringer, who helped early on with White Cane Day celebrations. They have been a bedrock helping to build White Cane Day year after year. I also want to shout out to Letty Jackson from the Travis Association for the Blind. I understand she's retired, but I hope she's here today. And then finally, Bryson McCall Smith, who's our official concerned citizen, who's been on the White Cane Day Committee year after year. He has always been our official head counter for White Cane Day, and I've always encouraged him to add 10% to whatever Houston claims is their count. So, Bryson is not here today, but I know he's going to be here watching online, so let's all say hey to Bryson. All right, so with that, Juanita and Superintendent Coleman present you each with a proclamation from Governor Greg Abbott. Where's Juanita? Okay, and Emily? A braille copy for you.
There you go, Juanita.
And could you share this one with the department?
Yes.
All right. All right. Next. All right.
Thank you, Ron. We appreciate that. All right. So I don't know if anybody here knows the superintendent of Texas School for the Blind, Emily Coleman, but not only do we thank her, we invite her to be our next speaker. Thank you, Emily, for hosting us. And I just want to say to your students at Texas School for the Blind, today is your day, but you can't do this without your staff. Take the time to thank them.
All right, welcome to TSBVI. Okay, yeah, we can cheer for TSBVI. I'm Superintendent Emily Coleman, and to speak on behalf of our school, I'd like to introduce our Student Council President.
Hi, my name is Eileen Valdez, and here is what I like about White Cane Day. First, I feel very powerful when I use my white cane everywhere I go. I also like to dance and celebrate with my blind peers and friends. White Cane Day is also a day where we can mostly celebrate our independence by traveling and more. In the future, when I become a journalist, my white cane will be a sufficient way to get around in the world.
And as we like to say at TSBVI, it's White Cane time!
All right, white cane time indeed. Now I will introduce our Deputy Executive Director on Community Services from HHSC, Ms. Haley Turner.
Good morning. I don't know how I follow that, a governor's proclamation and then the white cane time. But thank you so much for having us. My name is Haley Turner. I'm the Deputy Executive Commissioner of Community Services with the Health and Human Services Commission, and it is my greatest honor to be with you today. This is my first White Cane Day event, so this is my inaugural event, and so I am thrilled. What an incredible turnout and opportunities here today. I also want to share and introduce some of our staff that work on programs for individuals who are blind or visually impaired. Our Associate Commissioner, Keisha Rowe. Keisha's over there. Our Blind Children's Program Manager, Jody Cooksey, and all of our team. And then our Office of Disability Services Coordination Director, Claire Benitez, and her team is there. I am so proud, as Ron Lucy said, I am so proud that a president from Texas, Lyndon Baines Johnson, signed the White Cane Day Proclamation. It's such an important message, and I'm glad we're keeping it front and center here today. At HHSC, part of our mission is to provide services and supports through 4 programs, including the Blind Education Program, the Blind Children's Program, our Independent Living Services, and the Deaf, Blind, and Multiple Disabilities Programs. And all of those programs really have one thing in common, and I think we're here to all celebrate those things today, which is to make sure that Texans who are blind or visually impaired can live their lives to the fullest. So I know we've had a rough couple of years with the pandemic. We haven't been together in person, but I know we've all worked really hard to continue to work together and make sure services and care continue. So I'm really proud of the commitment that we all have. I want to thank Texas Workforce Commission for hosting this today. I want to thank the Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. They're great partners of us. And on behalf of all of us at HHSC, we're just so grateful to join you today in celebrating White Cane Day. And you have our full support in years to come as we continue to improve our efforts to help Texans who are blind or visually impaired. So thank you all. Have a great day. And it's White Cane time, right? Have a great day.
Okay, thank you. Next speaker, I'd like to welcome the Travis Association for the Blind's CEO, Mr. Jim Mahan.
Thank you so much to all of our dignitaries this morning. And we will now pass it on to Region 6 for their awesome words.
Title: A Day in the Life, a Region 6 film. Drone shot moves above the trees overlooking the UTSA campus. Shot of feet walking down the stairs with a cane. Continuous scenes of customer on a mobility lesson on campus, walking down the sidewalk, going up the stairs, and sitting at the table with the instructor. Ruben, wearing sunglasses, passes the college library.
My name is Ruben Rincon Jr., and I am a master's student at UTSA here in San Antonio, and I'm studying reading and literacy education.
Tell us about your previous work history and your career goal moving forward.
I had been a teacher in public and private schools for 8 years. I taught music and Spanish before leaving at the end of the 2019 school year.
Ruben plays the piano.
And now I'm in the master's program that I'm in to be a reading specialist teacher, hopefully for younger elementary age students.
What is your favorite piece of technology that you use every day?
That's probably my iPhone, but also anything having to do with Braille, like my Braille display, my Braille embosser. I'm studying reading and literacy, so obviously reading is important to me. And so I think Braille is definitely the only way to be completely fully literate as a blind or visually impaired person.
How are you currently going to and from school?
To get to school or anywhere else, I generally use the VIA bus here in San Antonio.
Route 501 to the medical center in Leon Valley.
And if it's a longer route or more complicated, then I'll take an Uber. I also walk a lot of places in my neighborhood. I have lots of stores and doctor's offices and things that are within walking distance. So those are the three main ways that I get around.
Ruben following the instructor through some trees. Continuous shots of Ruben traveling around the campus and the apartment complex with an aerial view of UTSA. Ruben crossing the parking lot to his apartment. Ruben stands with his arms crossed, exuding confidence, looking out into the distance.
What is your favorite alternative technique to take care of daily tasks?
I like to use bump dots on things, different kinds, like on the stove, on the microwave, on my apartment key. I also like to use things like rubber bands around bottles and like shampoo bottles or different things like that to distinguish one thing from another, or the same thing with cans. I also use the way around tags. It's a really cool system that uses your iPhone, and you can label different things and save them to your account and have them be read back to you. So that's pretty convenient for things like medicine that have a lot of detailed instructions. So yeah, those are some of the ways I do things a little differently.
Did you have any advice for new customers who are entering the workforce or going back to school?
Yeah, I would say that you should be persistent in trying to reach your goals. There might be roadblocks, but if you just keep on going, look for help in different places, or look to other people for advice, see what they've done, and see how you can adapt what they've done to your situation. Don't give up just because things get difficult. Yeah, I would say that's my biggest piece of advice is let yourself, grieve when you have a problem, but then get right back up and get back to it.
Blooper reel. Credits. Special thanks to Ruben Rincon, UTSA, Via Metro Service, Nicholas Casillas, VRT, Lauren Bowen, O&M, from BVI Region 6 team. Happy White Cane Day 2022.
Good morning again, everyone. So our microphones went on a lovely little vacation. They sent us postcards saying we'll be back in a few. And so I wasn't able to let us introduce ourselves and welcome you to the 20th annual White Cane Day celebration here in Austin. We are so happy to be here. My name is Jessica Glazebrook. I'm a career guidance instructor with Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center at the Texas Workforce Commission, working on making dreams happen and changing what it means to be blind.
And I am Crystal Malero. I am a supervisor with the Health and Human Services Blind Children's Program, and I need to start getting used to saying my new last name, which is actually Kowalski. So.
Huge congratulations to Crystal for her wedding and her spouse being so gracious to allow her to come here and be the host right after they got married. We appreciate you. All right. So one of the things that people ask about blindness and have a lot of questions and maybe some worries and fears about is whether or not people who are blind can have successful and productive and meaningful employment. The answer, of course, because I still have a job, is a resounding yes. And Crystal and I were asked when we were putting this together to talk a little bit about our first jobs when we were just starting out as young blind people out in the working world. And I immediately thought about my first job at the Buda Public Library. I was 17, did not know how to interview as a blind person, was quaking in my little flat shoes. I was terrified going in. But it turns out what they wanted to talk about was books, which is my favorite subject in the whole world. So the interview just turned into us talking about books and how much I enjoy reading and how much I enjoy reading to young people in particular. And that led to me reading Braille books to a herd of small children who got so used to it that when the Braille lady wasn't there, they got confused. So it ended up that blindness was my key into that community as opposed to something that kept me from it. Never underestimate the power of blindness and books. Tell me about your first job, Crystal.
My first job in high school, I was a receptionist for an attorney's office. So I got to meet a lot of people, got to kind of help direct people to different attorneys, you know, kind of greet people, got to learn a lot of different office skills and people skills and answering phone skills and things like that. So it was a pretty awesome experience.
Wonderful. I'm so glad you got to do that. Well, this summer, some of our own Texas students got to have that experience through the STAR program. The STAR program was run through Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center, my stomping ground, and allowed the students to experience the workplace firsthand, where they participated in a paid work experience and lived on a college dorm where they practiced daily living, budgeting, and recreation skills. I'd like to introduce the Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center STAR program, followed by our wonderful partners at the Health and Human Services Commission, who also provide services to our students.
Chris Cole Rehabilitation Center presents, in bright yellow letters against a pitch black background, the title reads, STAR, Summer Transition Accelerated Rehabilitation Program. Our view drifts down to show a series of pictures showing STAR participants and job coaches.
I came to the STAR program because I wanted to learn how to conduct myself in a professional environment. And I felt like I wasn't going to get that on the job. And I was afraid that even though I was getting beginner entry-level jobs, I didn't want to make a mistake that could have been prevented if I had gotten the right kind of training.
Series of images showing Carla and Johanna working together to make pineapple upside-down cake flash across our view.
I went to the STAR program because I wanted a job experience, even though I would end up really tired, but I would feel good about myself because it was my job. I was able to work, and I am able to talk about my experience to the people, family, and friends that ask me, oh, how did it go? How did the experience felt? And also I'm able to give advice to people who are younger than me.
A series of pictures show Johanna using blindness skills and technology to complete tasks around Carla's cuisine.
I really learned to make myself advocate because over there I didn't have my family, I didn't have my friends, my high school friends, I didn't have my teachers that would advocate for me. And so in my head, if I don't advocate for myself, nobody will do it for me. And it's not only in the STAR program, it's in the real world.
Now our view drifts down to show a series of pictures showing STAR participants and job coaches.
Job coaches are there to support. They won't really be there to do your job for you, but it's also fun to be around the job coaches because of the encouragement.
Now Carly describes a series of photos.
So one of the activities we did while we were at STAR as both a team building activity and as rec was the Stila Vista Challenge course, and it was an obstacle course designed to teach you how to work as a team. I resisted because I didn't really have a plan for going in, and I didn't feel like I knew what was going on. I didn't fully trust my teammates, and that was the most difficult because you climbed a 35-foot pole, you were harnessed, helmeted, and you had to rely on your teammates, who were your belays, to hold the rope and make sure you got down safely. Standing at the top of that tower was one of the most surreal moments of my life because I just remember being at the bottom of the steps, calling out to my teammates, "Do you got me?" And it was one of those things that I knew I had to do because it was protocol, but it was more personal for me because I felt like I was actually asking the question. Felt like I was really asking, "Do you really got me?" You know? It was such a moment for me to hear the enthusiastic response. It gave me the courage to climb up and jump off. I didn't really have time to think. I didn't give myself time to think. I climbed that ladder and I let go. I let go of all my reservations. I let go of all my fears, and I just let them catch me on the other side, and it felt so good to not feel like I had to do this alone anymore. It was such a surreal moment and very emotional for me because it brought a sense of camaraderie that I had never felt, especially at that group hug after. It was definitely a moment of connection between us where I really felt like people cared and had my back.
Our view drifts down to a series of images showing STAR participants working at their job sites, including Austin Retina, next to New World Deli, and Spiro Rehab.
The best way I can describe the STAR program is difficult and fast-paced. And although it was both of those things, it was also an opportunity for me to get to know myself as a working professional and as a person. We did a lot of activities where we got to explore how we reacted in a situation where we didn't know ourselves well enough to know how we were going to act in a certain situation. I did not know what I was like in a professional setting, and I didn't know how I would act and how my personality would differ from that of me in a casual setting around my friends or around my family, and the STAR program was definitely a new experience.
All the graduates of the STAR program received their certificates.
So to describe it, that's really what it was. It was a new experience. It was fun, way too fast, but it was difficult, and it was an uphill battle because I was growing emotionally in a way that I didn't expect, and I was doing it so quickly that it was difficult for me to kind of figure out how to handle it.
Audio description provided by Christian Bertling. For more information on the Chris Cole STAR program, contact Dual Customer Coordinator Joni Martinez at 512-377-0340. Cut to black.
Texas Health and Human Services. Students interact with professionals at the HHS Blind Children's Program. Speaker Joan Cooksey.
We're here today at the Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired, and we're doing a direct skills training for some of our kids who are deaf-blind in the Blind Children's Program.
A virtual mosaic stepping stone lesson. Then in person they make a dough.
So we're working on some daily living skills, which are around like how you measure, pour, mix, and then we're also doing some communication components. At the Blind Children's Program at HHSC, we do events like these all the time.
Students and adults communicate and smile together. Colorful stepping stones are on the table. Texas Health and Human Services, hhs.texas.gov.
Awesome. Welcome back, everybody. So earlier we had an opportunity to introduce our guide dogs and talk about guide dogs a little bit, but we wanted to talk a little bit more about what it means to have a guide dog and all the fun stuff that goes with it. So, getting a guide dog is a very personal decision. There's a lot of things that go into it. Do you have the the skills, the cane skills. It takes a lot of cane skills. You have to have really great cane skills to be able to use a dog. So do you have the skills it takes to use a dog? But also, you know, there's a lot of responsibility. Dogs take a lot of work and care, and so sometimes people choose to stay with a cane, which is awesome. I mean, it's definitely a personal decision. So I decided to go ahead and apply for a guide dog about 13 years ago. I've been working with dogs now for 12 years. So Fagin is my second dog. But, you know, it definitely has opened up a lot of interesting doors. A lot of people like to come up and talk to you about your dog and get to know your dog. Sometimes you have to kind of be like, hey, the dog's working. He can't be pet right now, things like that. But Jessica, how long have you been working dogs?
So Nigel is my first guide. I've been working Nigel for about almost 5 years now. And that's been one of the most wonderful things about him is that he does provide such a strong link to the community and a link of ambassadorship to the community where we can have those conversations. The flip side of that, of course, is that he provides a link to the community all the time, forever. And so it becomes a healthy balance of how he can communicate best with people. Right. Something that was really exciting for me as a first-time handler was realizing just how many adventures were open to Nigel and me because of the legal stipulations that guide dogs can accompany you into any public place. That means Nigel has been to some really fascinating places. Nigel has been with me to sing in the National Cathedral at Washington, D.C.
That's awesome.
Yes, he's been all over the place. He's walked on the earthwork mounds just east of St. Louis. So he's been. I love working with him.
Yeah. Well, and what's kind of interesting too, earlier Jessica and I kind of talked about it, but that we actually went to the same guide dog school, but there are several schools across the nation, which is really cool because that means that, you know, we can have our choices, the schools that we feel like work, you know, the best for us or our personality or what have you. So it's really neat to be able to have so many options from New York all the way to California. There's a bunch of schools. And fun fact about guide dogs, I think a lot of people think, if I'm allergic to dogs, I can't have a dog. But that's not actually true. You actually can have a guide dog even if you have an allergy. You know, there was earlier in the video from Region 4, John has a standard poodle, which means that, you know, poodles don't shed as much. Or I don't think they shed at all, really. They have more kind of hair more so than fur. So people who are allergic to dogs can actually have an opportunity to have a guide dog. So if you do have an allergy, I would encourage you, if it's something you're interested in, to definitely look into some of the schools that may have options available to you so that you can actually have a guide dog and be able to work with these awesome guides who provide so much companionship for us. And if you have any questions or any concerns about your rights and responsibilities about guide dogs or anything like that, access issues, you can definitely reach out to the Texas Workforce Commission. They can give you information on your rights and responsibilities. Or you can also contact your vocational rehab counselor, and they can definitely get you connected with all of that information that you might need. But now we are going to pass it over to our street reporter, Angela, because she has some other people who would like to share about guide dogs.
People that we know at least have entered so far, so already an exciting day. We kicked off today, of course, with walks. We had 3 different walks, and then also a 5K fun run in the morning as well. A lot of folks all coming here to the campus to go ahead and celebrate White Cane Day, which again, as we heard from a lot of these dignitaries, was proclaimed back in 1964 by President Johnson. And what an exciting day here in Austin. You have White Cane Day events across the state, but this is the largest one, as well as the fact that it's the 20th annual one here in Austin. So again, just a really great year to be out here, and also the first time in just a couple years that we're out here in person. And again, people showed up to see it as well, about 800. Right now there's still an instrumental performance going on behind me that you can hear. A lot of great music. We've got some great food. We can see HEB, Black's Barbecue setting up. We've got vendors. Again, like I mentioned, we've got the rides going on. And again, about 800 people coming out here to celebrate White Cane Day. Again, the 20th annual one here in Austin. We've got DJs going, and this is going to be going on for a couple more hours still. So if you guys are looking for it, hey guys, it looks like we have a special surprise guest coming up. If you guys want to come here, we have Guide Dogs of the Southeast. Well, this is exciting. Come on up here. Well, thanks for bringing them. Well, first of all, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Natalie Nielsen.
Thanks, Natalie, for joining us. And how about you, ladies?
My name is Lauren Herrera.
I'm Katie Kosich.
Well, this is exciting. I met two awesome guide dogs inside for our anchors right now who are in there, Jessica and Crystal. They have Kagan and Nigel. Tell us a little bit about these guys here.
So we are part of Southeastern Guide Dogs for the Blind. It's out of Florida. This is Lisa, and that is Sirius. Lisa is 8 months old. Sirius just turned a year. We get the puppies when they're 8 weeks old, and then they go back when they're 14 to 16 months back to Florida for formal training to be a guide dog.
And how important is this training? Describe it to me a little bit.
So we set the baseline for them as puppy raisers. We teach them basic commands. We teach them house behavior, when to go to do their business on command. We teach them how to be good around other people, other dogs, so that way they're out of sight, out of mind, and they know how to do their job when they learn to be a guide dog and learn to stay focused and do the task at hand.
And how important are they just for the, of course, the independence for those who are blind or visually impaired?
From anyone I've talked to, the amount that's like lifted off of them for the freedom they get from it. They also get a companion with them, because with your cane, you don't have an attachment to it as much, but you get an attachment to your dog, because not only is your dog giving you more freedom to do stuff, but your dog's there for you when you have hard times. They're there to support you, and when you're able to do a task with that dog, it just makes it feel like you did it as a team, and it makes it that much more important to that person.
I always feel that way, of course, about dogs too. They're very empathetic. Do you ladies want to tell me a little bit too about what it's been like working with the dogs?
So this is actually my first dog that I'm raising. It's been quite an adventure, but it's been a good one for the most part. I really enjoy the purpose for raising her, and it's a really great experience, and it just is great to know that I'm doing something helpful for the people here today.
Thank you so much for doing it. Yes, we used to have Labradors too, and they're just such great, sweet dogs and such great purpose too. And tell me about the experience for you.
It's been a lot of fun. It's definitely one of my biggest passions lately, because you know that you're helping somebody and impacting their future greatly. And I mean, it's a dog. Like, how could you be upset helping someone and getting to spend time with dogs?
Well, thank you so much for the work you're doing. And for someone who's interested in this, either needs a guide dog themselves or is interested in, of course, being a trainer, what should they do? Who should they contact?
They can go to southeasternguidedogs.org, and there is a portal for those who want to apply to get a guide dog, and then there's also a portal for those who want to be a puppy raiser as well.
Well, thank you so much. Anything else that you just want to add or think that we should know about these awesome guide dogs that you raise?
I mean, currently we're in need for puppy raisers, so if you have it in your heart to give back and want to be a puppy raiser, please go apply. We have our chapter here in Austin, and we currently have 3 dogs, and we're a very close-knit, great group to raise together, and it's a lot of fun to do.
Thank you so much. And you heard it. You guys should go on and become a puppy raiser yourself. So awesome to meet these guide dogs in training. I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to you, Jessica and Crystal, in the studio. Again, so great to be out here on the campus today for the 20th annual White Cane Day. We'll see you again soon.
And welcome back. Angela, you sound like you're having a ball out there. It sounds like so much fun, but we're having a wonderful time in here as well. I wanted to give a special shout out before we move on to our wonderful ASL interpreters. You are providing an incredible service that makes our presentations accessible to all, and we cannot thank you enough. So we'd like to talk about organizations here in Austin who are all around helpers, who are wonderful at extending help to the community whenever and wherever they might need it. Such an organization for people who are blind and visually impaired in Austin is the Travis Association of the Blind, also known as the Austin Lighthouse. We're thrilled to be able to have an interview segment with them and looking forward to hearing everything we can about the Austin Lighthouse and the services they can offer you and your loved ones.
A view of the front entrance to Travis Association for the Blind.
Well, first thing they say is, holy cow, I had no idea that you guys were here or what you guys did. It's really phenomenal.
Inside a massive warehouse with rows and rows of shelving stacked high with boxes. A large machine folds boxes.
So we've been around since 1934.
A black and white photo of 9 men in uniforms, some with white canes and some with guide dogs, stand in front of a truck with the Lighthouse for the Blind logo. Then, inside the warehouse, women operate sewing machines at individual workspaces.
We have focused on providing vocational opportunities to blind Texans.
On-screen text, Jim Meehan, President and CEO, Austin Lighthouse.
We've touched a lot of lives, and a lot of people don't know about us, so the opportunity is really, really big.
A man with closed eyes sits at a computer.
My name is Thomas Stivers, and I went completely blind at the age of 14.
On-screen text, Training Manager, Austin Lighthouse.
One of the things I really do value about working here at the Lighthouse is that being blind doesn't make me special or unique. It just makes me a normal worker, a colleague.
A man wearing a headset with a microphone and wearing dark glasses packs items into a cardboard box and then closes it. On-screen text, Warehouse Specialist, Austin Lighthouse.
My name is Joe Perez. I lost my eyesight at age 56. And I'm just really fortunate that this place is here for us, not only to give us a job, but to teach us skills that we can transfer from this job to other jobs. Sometimes we think that we can't do things, but actually we can with a different approach.
Someone scans a label on a box. Then someone else uses a high contrast keyboard. Finally, text is enlarged on a computer screen.
Technology is the leveler. Technology is the thing that allows people to do. We use voice-activated Bluetooth technology to allow people to work in a warehouse environment.
Joe uses a handheld scanner and a headset with a microphone to read the label on a box.
Say ready.
Ready.
STZ Foxtrot 3636 well, Jersey Flag Deck Rumans, Pick 58.
Now I'm going to 1578, which is way down.
Then he uses his white cane to walk down the aisle.
The technology is awesome. This technology allows me to track the warehouse by myself, pick accurately, return it to the shipping line, and from there, the other people do their jobs. The skills that I've learned here, I could take somewhere else.
Jim sits at a table with several employees as they identify products and other items.
We've created a pathway of stepping stones for people to improve and increase their vocational skills.
While being here, I've seen a lot of people come into the company, learn something valuable, and then move on outside the company. I think I probably will be here for a while. It depends. I mean, depends how long Jim stays before I can move into his position.
The one word I would use is achieve.
It's a family for me, and can see that everybody is helping each other here.
Opportunity. Because the Lighthouse is all about creating opportunities.
Oh, pride goes without saying. And once again, I can't help saying it again, but this place is a blessing.
A series of ethnically diverse, smiling employees.
We want to get to a point where we are so integrated in with the community that if somebody has a need, they would say, oh, well, what about the Austin Lighthouse? Why don't we call on them and leverage their capabilities and their resources to help us help ourselves? And nobody will come in here, get a tour, and say, holy cow, I had no idea.
Logo. A tall lighthouse shines its beacon over the Austin skyline. Austin Lighthouse, Travis Association for the Blind.
Welcome back. So for those of you who are listening to us non-visually, I would just like to give you a little impression of what you're seeing here. Miss Crystal and I are sitting here in beautiful, classy, giant, floppy witch hats. And there is a reason for this. It's because we were asked to talk a little bit about how we navigate the kitchen, cooking, and all things good food accessibly. And one of us made a comment that accessibility sometimes feels like magic. So here we are with a little hocus pocus and witching in the kitchen. So, Crystal, what's your favorite dish to cook using accessible tools?
Fun fact, I don't like to cook.
Oh.
So if I can find easy things to do in the kitchen or whatever's gonna make it easier for me, because I don't like to cook, I love to eat, don't like to cook, I'm gonna use it every time. So I would say probably my favorite is the air fryer, because you can do almost everything in the air fryer and I never have to touch, I can use a stove, but I don't like to, so I'm gonna use the air fryer. And I think probably one of my favorite things to cook in there is a Cajun shrimp pasta. So it's shrimp and sausage, and I said pasta, but actually it's zucchini. I lied. It's vegetables. Cajun, it's awesome. What is your favorite gadget in the kitchen?
Oh my gosh. So my favorite gadget, possibly in the entire world, is the Instant Pot. It's instant accessibility and an instant witch's cauldron for making some really elevated dishes with very little effort. You make something like linguine with clam sauce, and people think you've made a huge effort when really all you did was stir in some beautiful things and press a little button and then move on with your life to get dressed and look pretty. So
that sounds awesome and delicious. I actually, funny thing, we just got a new pizza stone, which I was like, cool, we can make pizza. But my aunt got it for us and she was like, actually, you can make like everything on it, cookies and biscuits and things. So we made a tater tots on it, which is weird because it's a pizza stone, but it actually made the tater tots like crispier. So if you get yourself a pizza stone, that also might be your favorite thing.
Just saying. And now we're going to throw it to our street reporter, Miss Angela, who's going to be talking to the true kitchen MVPs of
So how long has Clusive been around?
Not that long, like a year and a half, but
cool.
we're smoking.
Oh,
yeah.
all right, guys. Thanks for coming out to us again. We are excited. We've got another great guest here to talk to us about some really useful resources for the blind and visually impaired community. Bruce Sexton is joining us from Clusive. Bruce, tell us a little bit about Clusive and the services that you provide.
Hi, Angela. Thank you so much. My name is Bruce Sexton. I'm the Director of Community Engagement with Clusive, and we help to bridge the gap in the modern jobs. So we're helping blind people to get jobs in the tech industry and do remote work. So we're really happy to be here.
And you were telling me before, it's really great stuff that you're doing, especially considering nowadays era with Zoom and Teams and being able to use those resources.
Yeah, we're teaching people how to use Zoom, how to use Microsoft Suite, and so that it's not just learning something, but it's learning something that you can apply in your job and in employment. So it's really a great resource for people. We're at Clusive, CLUSIV.io for sure.
And you're based right here in Austin.
Yeah, we're here in Austin. It's a e-learning platform, so anybody can get our services, but we have a lot of people from Texas because we're based here. Students are really getting a lot out of it and getting employment. So there's a 76% unemployment rate amongst the blind. So we're trying to push that down and make us, the blind people, bring blind people up and get really good paying jobs, not just minimum wage jobs, but $55,000 or more. So
that's excellent, because yes, like you just mentioned, we're in National and Texas Disability Employment Awareness Month, so it's really important to raise awareness of employing all people with disabilities and people specific to today's event, White Cane Day for the blind and visually impaired. Talk to me again about just what you think is going to help with that and how your services are going to help with that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that really helps with blind people is not having to figure out transportation to the workplace, so doing remote jobs, most interviews nowadays are through Zoom, so knowing how to be professional, what you're wearing, but also blurring your background and figuring out how to present yourself to employers in the best way possible. So we do soft skills and hard skills, whether it's web development, we're teaching blind people. Our curriculum is created specifically for blind people. So it's the world's first e-learning platform built for and by the blind. So we're really happy to be doing this.
I love it. Great resources. And just to wrap it up, tell me a little bit about being here today and the atmosphere and the importance of having events like today here on White Cane Day.
It's so wonderful to be here with live music and the people. Like, blind people are such a small part of the population that if you're not in person, then it's very hard. It's very isolating. So by being here, you kind of create that community and come together and share ideas. So it's really important not only to show awareness, but also work together and build each other up.
Thanks so much for joining us and sharing the great resources that you have. Again, Clusive, great resources for those, an e-learning platform. I'm going to go ahead and toss it back to you, Jessica and Crystal, in the studio, and we'll see you again here in just about 15 to 20 minutes or so.
Thank you so much.
My name is Barrett Black. I'm the 4th generation pitmaster here at the original Black's Barbecue. We're the oldest barbecue in Texas, still owned by the same family. And we're here at our Austin store here at 31st and Half in Guadalupe, where we've expanded to serve more people. The history of Black's Barbecue was started by my great-grandfather. He started it just as a little meat market with one of his friends to try to get through the Great Depression. He wasn't going to just roll over and take it and be a victim of it. He was going to fight his way out of it. And he did that with one of his buddies who had a building. He had some cattle, so they started a meat market. And, back then in the early 30s, there was not a whole lot of refrigeration available. And so things that would not sell in the meat market, they would smoke to get a little more shelf life out of those meat items so they could get as much value out of that meat as they possibly could. The business was then passed on to my grandparents, who really perfected the recipes. My grandfather was one of the first people to put brisket on the menu when boxed beef became a thing. And so Black's Barbecue is one of the first companies to actually perfect and sell brisket as a regular menu item. They really dedicated themselves to the craft. I'm very, very thankful for what my grandparents did. Both of them, my grandfather and my grandmother, worked tirelessly way before barbecue was cool. Right now, my dad owns the company, Kent Black, and along with my brother and I, we help carry on that legacy and that tradition.
Do you have any particular things you look forward to at each White Cane Day event?
What I look forward to most, once we're able to gather in those large gatherings again, especially at the White Cane Day, is the same thing I look forward to every day here at the restaurant, is seeing people enjoy our food. It brings, we work really hard. It takes a lot of hours to get those briskets, just to the right flavor and texture and everything. And to see that as a tool to bring people together always brings me joy, whether it's here at the restaurant or the festival, especially when it's for a good cause, such as White Cane Day. I can't wait to see the smiles on people's faces from, seeing friends again and, having, great food along with it.
You referred to yourself as a pit master. Tell people what that means.
Okay. What it means to be a pitmaster at Black's Barbecue is dedication. You need to be dedicated to being an expert, of course, at every single piece of meat that we cook, being able to adapt to all the different obstacles and challenges that come with that, whether it's weather or different shapes of the meat and everything like that, but also how to serve the many people that come through our doors and the many people we serve outside of our doors, such as White Cane Day. It's more than just, sitting next to the smoker and watching the fire burn and hopefully everything comes out okay. You have to be able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together of what it takes to create that authentic Texas barbecue experience.
What is in the future for Black's Barbecue?
What's in the future for Black's Barbecue? We're not always quite sure. We have 4 locations right now. We don't have a big master plan to open 100 locations. If a 5th location happens, it's because it's the right place at the right time, and it just makes sense. We are dedicated to preserving the past of what my great-grandfather started, my grandparents perfected. But for right now, it's just sharing what we do best with as many folks as we can while still staying true to who we are and what we do.
What is your favorite product that you make here?
My favorite thing to get at Black's Barbecue is a slice of fatty brisket. You can't beat that. People ask me all the time, do you grow tired of barbecue? And the answer is no, of course not. I don't sit down to a full pound of meat every day by any means, but every day I'm getting a slice of white bread with a little bit of fatty brisket, barbecue sauce, pickles, and onions, snacking on that. Our mac and cheese and pinto beans are definitely my favorite sides. I like to put a little bit of chopped brisket on top of that with some pulled pork as well. So I'm always, I love things just pure and simple as they are, the way we sell them. I also like mixing them together in different combinations. And so it's hard to pick a favorite, but they're all great. Find more about Black's Barbecue at blacksbbq.com. Our location in Austin is at 31st and a half in Guadalupe Street. Our original location, which I encourage everybody to go to, where we've been since 1932, is in Lockhart, Texas at 215 North Main Street in historic downtown Lockhart. That's where 4 generations of pitmasters have walked the floors, and my favorite place to be. We've got a location in San Marcos and New Braunfels as well. In addition to the restaurants that we have, we also ship our barbecue across the country. So if you have friends or family outside of the Austin area and you want to send them a gift or something, we can ship all across the country nationwide.
Back, everyone. Thank you so much to everyone who's been working with us. This is so exciting. So when we were putting this together, a question we tossed around was, where is the most exciting place you've been with your cane? Because our canes are about adventure. And Crystal was telling us about a whirlwind trip she took to Alaska with her cane. And Crystal, I'd love it if you could tell us a little bit about your cruise.
Yeah, about 5 years ago, I went on a cruise with my mom and a couple friends of ours and my aunt. And it was a decent-sized group of us that went on an Alaskan cruise. We went to Juneau and to Skagway and to a couple other places I don't remember the names of. We were a little disappointed because we didn't get to go into Canada. We were supposed to, but it was too windy. So they were like, not safe. We're not going there. So we didn't get to dock. But it was a really awesome experience. Actually, I was in between guide dogs. So I was like, well, we're going with a cane. We can still go on this fun trip. So we got to do all kinds of amazing excursions. I was kind of glad I didn't have a dog with me for that trip, because one of the excursions we got to do, my favorite excursion, was that I got to go play with sled dogs, do the Iditarod sled teams and stuff. And that was really cool because we got to kind of feel their harnesses and how they attach to the sleds. And it wasn't quite cold enough that it was snowing because we went in September. But we still got to, they had wheels on the sleds. So we actually got to be pulled by this whole pack of sled dogs. That was really, really cool. So I was actually, in the end, glad I didn't take a dog, because that probably would have been distracting for all of the dogs involved. So yeah, it was awesome. It was a really great trip.
That's incredible. And all of the working dogs getting together, I can just see it.
There's a little puppy. Oh my gosh, this puppy was so cute. I think he or she, I don't remember. It was like 3 or 4 months old, so it was still a little puppy, and got to play with that little dog. And it was really cool. We also got to see the glaciers, which was really neat. I could actually see them because the light was so bright on them, because they were so bright white. So yeah, it was awesome.
Excellent. And thank you so much for sharing that, Crystal. I would like to take an opportunity for all of us to show a little video thanking our incredible partners who helped make White Cane Day a success.
Thank you to White Cane Day partners. APH, Austin Public Health, Prevent, Promote, Protect. AmeriGroup, Austin Lighthouse, Travis Association for the Blind. The Original Black's Barbecue, HEB, Lowell Keeg, Southeastern Guide Dogs, Vanda Pharmaceuticals Incorporated. Alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. Helen Keller.
All right. Well, thank you so much to all of our partners. You know, one of the biggest partners that we have, of course, we are on the campus of the Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired, which is really exciting for me because I have not been back here since probably a very long time. I was about to give you a year, but I don't think everybody needs to know how old I am. But I haven't been back here really since I was in high school when I would come for summer camps and for special programs throughout the year. And so to be able to have an opportunity to come back and explore this campus, and it's changed a lot since the last time I was here. So it's really awesome to be able to come back and see all the changes. So this next video is just going to be talking about TSBVI, and thank you to TSBVI so much for allowing us to use their facilities today for this awesome event.
The TSBVI Wildcat logo appears. The White Cane Day 2022 logo appears. Emily Coleman, a middle-aged woman, talks to two students in front of a school bulletin board.
Hi, I'm Emily Coleman, and I am the superintendent at the Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. We serve as a resource to the 11,000 students identified as blind, deafblind, or visually impaired in the state of Texas. We have a full-time on-campus program. We have short-term programs and summer programs. We offer outreach and technical assistance around the state, and we also publish curriculum right here on our campus. But today we are really excited to be a part of White Cane Day, and so I have asked a couple of our students if they'll share their perspective. So let's start with you, Jared. Why don't you introduce yourself and talk about how long you've been using a white cane?
Yes, I'm Jared, and I've been using a white cane since 2018, 2019, somewhere around that specific timeline.
Pass it over to Wealthy.
Hi, my name is Wealthy, and I've been using a cane since I was 8 years old, so a little over about 11 years ago.
Now, Wealthy, why don't you keep that microphone for a second and tell us what program you're here in at TSBVI.
I am in the exit program. This is my second year in the exit program, and I'm doing great.
Do you have a job in exit?
My only job is to do the best as I can and be the best me.
I like it. That's a pretty good job. Now, tell me about how the white cane has empowered you in your life.
Well, the white cane has helped me be independent, helped me walk around campus independently, and make sure that I don't trip over stuff, and basically guides me on different paths.
That's great. Okay, go ahead and pass the phone to Jared. We'll be back to you in a minute. Now, Jared, talk about what you're doing here at TSBVI and how the white cane has helped you out.
Just like Wolfie, I am also in the exit program. This is also my second year of exit, and I don't currently have a job at this point, but when it does come time, I'm going to do HEB. Trying to get that cash. Maybe try to be Scrooge McDuck, maybe not.
Everybody loves HEB. Now, do you think you'll use your cane when you go to work at HEB?
Probably, yes.
Yeah.
Probably not a whole lot since you'll start out being a bagger.
Right. When you're moving around the store, though, it'll be pretty helpful.
Yes.
All right. Now, have you participated in White Cane Day activities before?
Yes, I have.
And what do you like about it?
Not by choice, anyway. But
okay, when you're forced to participate in White Cane Day activities, what do you like about it?
Getting some fresh air. Being cooped up inside all the time.
Yeah, so White Cane Day here on campus, we do a march outside, we have games, we have a DJ, music. Yeah. Food, barbecue.
I can't handle the barbecue sauce.
Oh, you can't handle it?
Yeah, I've acid reflux.
Oh, too spicy.
Yeah.
Well, can you handle the barbecue without the sauce?
Yes.
Oh, nice. All right, why don't you pass the microphone over to Wealthy? Wealthy, tell us about your White Cane Day experiences.
Well, this year will be my fifth year fifth year full time on at TSB, and I'm trying to remember. Ever since COVID hit, it's been a little different. Let's see. Last year, I think we did. I forgot what we did last year.
And we did a time capsule last year.
Oh yeah, we did. In the Leo's Club, that's another club we do here at TSB. We buried a time capsule. I think it was back in January, and we're not planning on opening it until I think we said 40 years from now.
Now, I have one more question for both of you. Do you see yourselves participating in White Cane Day in the future, even when you're not at TSBVI?
I guess it depends on whether if I'm busy on that day doing something else, or because I'm gonna be working with little kids in the future. That's my main goal right now, is to get probably my TA certification or my child care certification, probably by the end of this year or the end of next year or whatever. So I'll be able to start working with little babies in the nursery.
Little goblins.
The reason why is because I don't want because they won't run away and they won't talk back to you. They will scream though.
That sounds awesome. Well, a good reason to miss White Cane Day is if you have to work. I guess that happens,
Yeah.
right?
I guess I can check wherever I'm going to stay. I can check and see if they're having any festivities downtown.
Jared, what about you? Do you think when you're not forced to go to White Cane Day, you might still participate a little bit?
Yeah, I might. That's if I have time off from community college to get some skills in first before I go to UT for a course I want to take. Archaeology, to be specific, which I'm going to have to take baking first, which doesn't make sense because baking and archaeology have nothing to do with each other.
True. Awesome. Well, you guys have said so many things that are promoting independence and making your own choices about your future and your life. And I think if you're out there doing what you want to do, might be exactly what White Cane Day is all about. So we hope from TSBVI, we hope everyone is having a great White Cane Day in the state of Texas, and reach out anytime. Yeehaw! Yeehaw!
Yes.
The TSBVI Wildcat logo appears. The White Cane Day 2022 logo appears.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you again so much to all of our partners, and especially the folks here at Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. Blindness truly is a team effort, and it does take a village. And I want to take some time to introduce some of our wonderful village citizens who spend every day working with folks who are blind and visually impaired to be out in the community and living our best lives. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Education Service Center at Region 13 and Region 5 of the Texas Workforce Commission. Thank you for being in our village.
As teachers of students with visual impairments, or TSVIs, and certified orientation and mobility specialists, or COMs, it is our responsibility to ensure that students who are blind or visually impaired receive instruction in the expanded core curriculum. Hi, I'm Erica Cairns, and here at Education Service Center Region 13, along with my colleagues, we do just that. Our work includes supporting local education agencies by providing professional development specific to visual impairment, blindness and deafblindness, the loaning of assistive technology devices, technical and professional support for current and prospective TSVIs and comms, as well as family engagement events such as Braille Challenge, Music for All, Kayak Days, Goal Ball, and other collaborative programs with Texas Workforce Solutions, TWS, and Texas Health and Human Services Commission's Blind Children's Program. One of the most exciting programs we offer with TWS is the Job Opportunities for Blind Students, or JOBS, a 3-week residential work experience for students ages 15 and up. Participants live with a roommate in an apartment at the University of Texas, Austin, and develop independent living skills, including cooking and cleaning. They also develop advanced orientation and mobility skills as they navigate Austin and use various modes of transportation. Attendees explore career readiness during a week of instruction and 2 weeks of on-the-job training at Austin businesses. Recreation and leisure isn't ignored as participants plan and engage in fun weekend activities such as rowing on Lady Bird Lake and indoor skydiving. We started the JOBS program in 2005, and to date we've served over 100 students. We encourage families to reach out to their local TSVIs or comms to learn more about the services available to them. And of course, you can always reach out to the VI team here at Region 13. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks for watching.
Not everyone blind or visually impaired uses the traditional white cane to help them get around.
The Life of Marilyn Breedlove by Joe Campbell, Region 5.
Still, most people with vision impairments have a working knowledge of the symbol of independence that the white cane provides. Aside from its symbolic meaning, the white cane is also a communication tool. It provides a user with much needed feedback about their surroundings and environment.
A woman using a white cane checks her mailbox, then is interviewed on a couch.
My life is not defined by sight or the lack thereof. Effectiveness, resilience, perseverance, and dedication are a few words that define me. My name is Marilyn Breedlove, and my talents and gifts are measured by the success of the seeds I planted.
Photos of her children as college graduates, then a younger photo of them.
I am a dedicated wife, mother, and educator who strives for excellence in all pursuits.
Family photo with athlete J.J. Watts.
I was born with bilateral anophthalmia.
A rare entity in association with septo-optic dysplasia. The condition is characterized by absent eyeballs and the presence of eyelids, conjunctiva, or lacrimal apparatus.
However, that didn't stop me from being an active parent in my children's lives. I was the loudest parent in the crowd when they played baseball, football, volleyball, softball, and cheerleading. I was the first one to render first aid when they were hurt. My talents are not measured by being a blind person who can sing and dance. My talents are represented by my children's success, linked to the core values my husband and I instilled in them early on.
Marilyn Breedlove provided over 30 years of service to the Harris County education system, working for Region 4's Education Service Center.
View of the exterior of the Region 4 Education Service Center.
Region 4 supports local area schools and school districts by implementing state initiatives that provide resources to target the needs of the students and the communities in which they live. Marilyn is always eager to help those in need explore various educational options. She earned a Bachelor's of Science degree from the University of Texas and has certificates from the National Library Service, Library of Congress, and a letter of proficiency in Unified English Braille. She hopes to expand her appreciation for Braille by teaching others this tactile writing system.
Thank you, Marilyn.
Great to see you out here again. It's been a great day on the campus. About 800 people here. I see a lot of people are grabbing lunch and everything. And I'm joined today by Natalie with her parents, Nancy and Tom. Natalie is actually a graduate of the Chris Cole Center, also attended the Texas School for the Blind and Visually Impaired. What has it been like for you being out here at the White Cane Day event today? What has been your favorite part, Natalie?
I would say the food.
Well, yeah, you can't resist having barbecue from Blacks and everything. And why is it important for you to be out here today? You mentioned people earlier.
To hear people.
Because you can't see people, right? So you
Yes.
have to hear. And it's kind of hard to recognize all the voices, so with parents coming, it helps her to identify who they are. Did you see some of your case managers, Natalie? Or didn't you see Bobby?
Yes.
And Bobby started growing his hair at COVID. And it's down to here now, so it was I didn't recognize him. And you've seen others too, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, who have you seen?
And so Nancy and Tom too, tell me what it means for you two to get to be here. And this is the 20th annual, first one we've had in person for a couple of years. What does it mean to you to see 800 plus people here celebrating White Cane Day?
I just think it's great for everybody to get together on a special occasion and show their support for each other. And do it once a year might not be enough. Maybe they might need to do it twice a year, because I know the people with their handicaps, it's sometimes hard to get together with other people just due to the handicap. So it's great that they at least do it once a year so they can see old friends or hear old friends or get together with them in any way that they can and enjoy the afternoon.
And Nancy, what's it been like too for you having Natalie attend here, TBSVI, as well as Chris Cole Center?
It's been wonderful. She kind of came into Chris Cole a little later. She went to Helen Keller, thanks to TWC, in Long Island, and enjoyed that. But the reason why I love White Cane Day is from a parent standpoint, you feel like you're the only caregiver in the world. And then you come out and you realize that there's a lot of people that are doing the same thing we are.
Good point.
Yeah,
That's
it really,
right.
and it makes you feel a little better, like you're not at the end of your rope that other people are doing. Plus, it's also great to see how many people care about each other. My favorite things are the trains, when they put an arm on a shoulder and there's 10 of them walking by. I love that. I think that's great. So.
Excellent. Thanks so much. And anything else you'd like to say about being here today, Natalie?
No.
Thank you so much for joining us. It's been a great event. We're having a lot of fun out here, Crystal and Jessica. Hope you're having fun out there in the studio. Do we have some more folks for us for guests? All right. We appreciate you. Thank you. We do have really fast, actually, it looks like a couple more guests. So I'm just going to go ahead and stretch for a second here while we get them. They're part of our choir. Again, we've had some really great music out here on campus today, from flute performances to the choir here. They're going to be bringing them to us here in just 1 second. Another great part of White Cane Day, of course, has been all the music. Well, thank you all so much for joining us.
This is Devin Gutierrez.
Hello.
Well, it's so good to have you here today. So tell me what it was like getting to perform in the choir today.
I was doing the tambourine, and I did Crocodile Rock by Elton John and Daydream Believer by the Monkees.
That is awesome. How about for you?
So me, Mary Rose, and Zach, we're the Spin Rockers. We're a band that played, we play different gigs for performances related to the blind, and we're all about accessibility and stuff. And we got a couple of songs in with the TSBVI choir. It was pretty cool. It's always great to be able to come out here on White Cane Day and celebrate our independence as people with visual impairments, and, have fun playing music for it too. It's all great.
And What are your thoughts with like 800 people here today listening to you perform?
I perform at. It was great.
You like performing?
Anything else you guys would like to add just about getting to be a part of the 20th annual White Cane Day?
I like using a cane. I'm with other people who use a cane just like a white cane just like me.
Yeah, I mean, it's all fun to be out here, and there's a lot of people that we know. You know, every time I come here, there's, people that used to come to school here, and, different staff because I'm not really a student here anymore. So every time I get to come here, it's pretty cool to see all of the staff and the former staff that used to work here and all of the former students that I know. It's pretty cool.
And just to wrap it up, what does it mean? Like, what does white cane symbolize to you as far as...
A cane that's the color white.
It said freedom.
And independence.
I love that. Freedom and independence. Well, thank you for being here today. Thank you for the beautiful choir performance. Great to have you here. Thanks for being part of the White Cane Day. I'm going to toss it back to you, Jessica and Crystal in the studio. A lot of fun out here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you everybody for joining us today. We are getting close to the end of our virtual part of the White Cane Day, which I'm really excited because now that means we get to go outside and see all the festivities that are happening out there. I hear a lot of music. We have a DJ now, so I'm sure there's some dancing going on. I am looking forward to some Black's barbecue because it's about lunchtime and I am hungry. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going on out there. What are you looking forward to, Jessica?
I am so looking forward to getting out and hearing the music and talking with some students. I heard some familiar voices on the video and can't wait to catch up with all of my wonderful students and see everyone. And it's really wonderful to finally be back in community with each other. We are so happy to have been able to curate a virtual community, but in-person community just feels so fantastic, and we're very happy to be back with that. And so I can't wait to see my people.
Yes, for sure. Well, thank you so much to all of our partners, everybody that participated for this virtual event as well as for the in-person event. All of the videos were great. Thank you to our crew of people. We cannot put this on without everybody running the cameras and the microphones and all the technology that I have no knowledge of. And Sarah and helping to coordinate everything and run things in the background, to our amazing ASL interpreters over here, and to all of our partners. We really appreciate everything that you guys did to put this awesome event together this year. And also to Jeff, we're missing you, Jeff, but you were instrumental in putting all of this together. So thank you for all of your hard work. And don't forget to go to whitecaneday.org for information for next year's event, and definitely be back next year for to see what other awesome guests we can find.
We appreciate you so much for staying with us virtually, or if you're joining on your phone from in person, well, so much the better. We really could not have done this without an incredible team. As Crystal was saying, all the information for next year's event, as well as a recording of this event that was streamed on YouTube, can be found at whitecaneday.com.
.org.
I apologize. .org. Thank you. Thank you so much, Crystal.
I second guessed myself. I was like, uh-oh, did I get the website wrong?
I appreciate you. Thank you
Teamwork.
so much. Teamwork. Exactly. Exactly. whitecaneday.org. All right. Well,
thank you.
We appreciate you all and look forward to seeing you next year.
To accentuate the positive feeling, minus the negative, latch on to the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In-Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum, have faith or pandemonium liable to walk upon the scene.
To illustrate his last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark?
Man, they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, do not mess with Mr. In Between. Do you hear me?
This has been a Jeff Maslow and Sarah Weems Pena production.